Which dinosaurs would be best for fantasy warfare? This series explores how civilizations from Earth's history would utilize dinosaurs and other prehistoric animals to defend their territory, defeat their enemies, and support their vast empires. The setting we're discussing today is fairly grounded, with just enough magic to make the concept work, along with some extra pizzazz. Humans are born with bonding gems in their foreheads that correspond to certain types of animals born with the same gem. For example, obsidian corresponds to dromaeosaurs. The natural condition and size of one's bonding gem limits the size of the animal you can bond, so an exceptionally pristine and large obsidian gem would allow you to bond a massive raptor. Smaller or less clear gems would limit you to animals like Deinonychus, or even Velociraptor if you're on the lower end of the bell curve. Bonding an animal grants your chosen battle partner human levels of intelligence, and you can communicate telepathically with your bonding animal from up to a mile away. This permits levels of coordination, training, and troop maintenance that would otherwise be impractical or impossible. Each animal discussed will fall into one of four categories: scouts and communication, massed combat, agriculture and support, and leadership. The animals mentioned are also either native to Mexico or close enough geographically that they're reasonable for the Aztecs to use. Now let's enter the world of extinction. First, we'll need to clarify what we mean by Aztec. Pre-Columbian peoples of central Mexico didn't use this term to refer to themselves, instead preferring Nahua or a more specific geographical identifier. In this video, we're focusing on the Mexica, the people who lived on the island city of Tenochtitlan, as well as their neighbors in Texcoco, Tlacopan, and Tlaxcala. In the timeline of the Extinction book series, the Tenochca migrated south hundreds of years earlier from their ancestral homeland of Aztlan, so some of the bonding animals they use are introduced from northern regions. Scouts and communication. Fangwings, known to us as rhamphorhynchids, are not dinosaurs. They're a small type of pterosaur native to the Jurassic period, and had sharp, forward-pointed teeth ideal for capturing fish. These cat-sized flying reptiles are part of the topaz group, meaning that any human born with a topaz should be able to bond with a fangwing. Pterosaur bonders have two abilities that come with their bond: translation and sense-throwing. Translation in this context means that pterosaur bonders can both understand and be understood in the languages of other civilizations without needing to learn those languages. This means that they're often diplomats or spies, sent to foreign territories to treat with potential allies or rivals. For spies especially, translation is best used in tandem with sense-throwing. Pterosaur bonders can temporarily see through the eyes of their bonding animals, allowing them to scout ahead from hundreds of feet in the air. If you can get your fangwing close enough to enemy troops to hear them speak, you can understand them and use that information to your advantage without them ever seeing you. For this reason, armies typically have dart blowers and archers on the lookout for fangwings that are acting suspiciously. While fangwing bonders aren't ideal for direct combat, they're an essential part of the Tenochca and Mexica militaries. Being able to communicate rapidly across large distances has enabled significant expansion. At the time of extinction, the Tenochca control the entire Valley of Mexico, along with several surrounding territories. But information in war is only as useful as your ability to act on it, which brings us to our next category: massed combat. There are two main groupings in this category: the House of the Raptor and the House of the Shieldhorn, patterned after the historical existence of the houses of the Jaguar and Eagle. The raptors of the Tenochca are what we would call Utahraptors, and were brought south during the migration from Aztlan 300 years ago. Utahraptors in the fossil record were already large, and these have been selectively bred for size and strength over the centuries. A typical Tenochca raptor is about 7 meters long and weighs 600 kilograms. The main unit of the House of the Raptor is a pack, composed of 20 obsidian gem raptorbacks, 1 fangwing bonder, and 2 crestbill bonders, which we'll cover later in the video. 20 packs together form a high pack, and there are always at least 4 complete high packs active throughout the Tenochca's territory. Raptor bonders have the unique ability of enhanced senses, making them an excellent choice for flanking units that can detect ambushes. Raptorback's typical equipment includes a spear and makuit, or obsidian-edged club. Low-ranking raptorbacks wear white cotton armor called ishkawipili, a thick double-layered gambeson that can stop spears and arrows. In our world, it was so effective that many of the Spanish conquistadors actually abandoned their heavy and practically warm chainmail and plate for the native gambesons. Raptorback elites wear black ishkawipili. They can be sleeved or cut like a vest, and usually covered down to the knees. Raptorbacks use their spears in cavalry charges or occasionally to throw, and in close quarters combat often dismount to bring their shorter but stronger makuits into the fight. They'll cover their raptor's sides and rear while the dinosaur rips through enemies in the front, but they usually try not to stay in melee for too long unless they have overwhelming force on their side. Shieldhorn is the divine name for ceratopsians, in this case Coeloceratops. Shieldhorn bonders have emeralds in their foreheads and have the ability to determine divine names of animals they're encountering for the first time. They also receive occasional visions and information from the gods, although such encounters are brief. In a military context, shield horns form both defensive and offensive walls. Tenochca shield horns are about 7 meters long and weigh over 2 tons. Their curved horns can stab through scales, muscle, and even cotton armor, and their frill provides protection for their rider, who usually uses ranged weapons like bows, slings, or blowguns. A shield horn charge can break enemy armies, especially when supported by raptorbacks from the side. They're also great for protecting Tenochtitlan from would-be conquerors, since they can line up on the causeways that provide access from the lakeshore. Shield horns are organized into herds of 500, and the city usually maintains 5 to 7 active herds at a time. During peacetime, they're given huge grazing areas by the lakeshore and usually sleep outside their bonder's home. Agriculture and support. Crestbills, or hadrosaurs, are bonded with amethysts and are the multi-tool of the Tenochca society. This species of crestbill is Tlahtolophus. Tenochca crestbills are large animals at up to 8 meters long and 3,000 kilograms. As previously mentioned, they'll accompany raptorback packs and also tag along in groups of shield horns. Crestbills are often used as porters, carrying gear and food for raptorbacks and shield horns alike when on campaign. While physically powerful, they're rarely utilized in melee combat. Their unique ability makes them far too valuable to spend as frontline soldiers. Crestbill bonders can accelerate the healing rate of those they touch, closing wounds in hours that would normally take days, as well as staving off disease. To leave on campaign without your crestbills is an idiom meaning self-destructive behavior. Don't take that to mean crestbills are defenseless. Far from it. When confronted, they can use their hooves and tails to deal serious damage to attackers, and their riders usually have bows or slings to support the enemy from afar. Their value makes them high-priority targets, either for capture or removal, so they're usually protected by elite troops on the battlefield. Some often serve as musicians, beating drums and calling out encouragement to their companions. At home, bonded crestbills are useful for carrying large amounts of produce from the chinampas, mound farms built on the lake, to either home or markets. They also have a very high reproductive rate and mature extremely quickly, so unbonded crestbills, which are not sapient, are bred in huge amounts for both meat and their scaly skin, which is used for clothing and art. The raptorbacks are sustainable thanks to the enormous population of domestic crestbills left unbonded. I'm going to take a moment to announce that Amazon pre-orders for Extinction Obsidian Dawn are now live. The ebook will release on September 19th, 2025, and I'll also make sure that physical copies will be available online. If this video or concept is interesting to you, then this series was written for you. Tell your friends. The link is in the description. Guardian crocodiles are huge, bulky crocodilians that lurk in Lake Texcoco, protecting the waterways from invaders. I know, it's not a dinosaur, it's just a keyword thing for the title of the video. Pseudosuchian bonders have sapphires and are one of the bonder types that have the ability to metabolize a special plant called diveweed that lets them withstand water pressure and hold their breath for far longer than normal. Guardian crocodiles, what we would call Deinonychus, are typically 9 to 10 meters long and weigh about 5,000 kilograms, although much larger individuals are known. It's a common sight to see crocodile bonders swimming with their animals in the shallows or exploring the bottom of the lake, where they can catch fish as well as find medicinal plants. Their bulk is also useful for building chinampas, since they can move large amounts of lake soil with their broad snouts to create new farmland. Leadership. Shield horns show another use in the leadership category. We mentioned that they have the ability to discern divine names, which allows for a unified, cross-cultural reference for the same types of animals across the world. They can also receive glimpses of instruction from their respective pantheon, directions to attack a certain nearby village, or to increase the sacrifice of bonding gems. This spiritual power stemming from their bond has created a unique priest class, where shamans lead the sacrifice of captured bonding gems from slain enemies in order to increase their god's power. The main deity worshipped by the Tenochca in this time period is Huitzilopochtli, the god of war who has ascended to also become the god of the sun. They believe that by defeating their enemies and sacrificing gems to Huitzilopochtli, they are allowing the sun to shine in the sky. As the bonders in charge of this process, shamans have a crucial cosmological function in addition to their practical military usage. Typically, older retired shieldhorn bonders will join the priest class once they are no longer fit to fight. Ridgeback rippers, or Acrocanthosaurus, are one of the biggest bonding animals available to the Tenochca. Bonded by those with high-quality blood garnets, ridgeback rippers are very rare. It's typical that only 1 or 2 at a time are bonded, and it's seen as a sign of divine favor for rulership. The current ruler, Tlatoani Tizok, is bonded to a large ridgeback ripper named Namaquish. Namaquish is large even for his kind, at 12 meters long, 3.4 meters tall at the hip, and weighing in at 7,500 kilograms. Ripper bonders have the ability to maintain full metabolic function in extreme temperatures, able to fight and travel for long distances in heat or cold without ill effects. Tizok uses a large bow in combat and leads from the front, firing down upon enemies as his giant mount tears them to pieces and stomps them into paste. In battle, Namaquish wears thick cotton armor on his throat and belly to protect vulnerable areas, enabling him to get into melee with enemy raptors and shield horns without worrying about projectiles. The nearby Tlaxcalans, recently subjugated by the Tenochca, blame Ridgeback Rippers for the war going in their enemy's favor. I can see why. Regal wings are our final animal highlighted in this episode, and I'll be honest, it would have been a huge missed opportunity not to have Mesoamerican bonders use Quetzalcoatlus. Regal wings are huge flying pterosaurs with beaks the size of spears and wings that overshadow entire packs of raptors. They're also rare, and typically associated with either members of the ruling family or high-ranking nobles. Tlatoani wife and daughter are both regal wing bonders, separated from fangwing bonders by the exceptional purity and size of their topazes. Regal wings permit both translation and sense throwing just as their smaller relatives do, but their telepathic communication range is much higher, at up to 10 miles. Their relatively fragile bodies aren't suited for melee combat, but the information they provide from the air is invaluable. And don't underestimate their beaks. While they aren't ideal warriors, regal wings can impale animals as large as raptors, making enemy soldiers perfect shish kebab candidates. Humans are too heavy to ride regal wings, so the bonders stay on the ground and coordinate troop movements with their regal wing while relaying information to others in high authority. They train as diplomats and debaters in order to secure alliances with or tribute from surrounding small tribes, offering them stability in exchange for gem sacrifices to sustain the sun's path in the sky. Thanks for watching! Just a reminder that Extinction Obsidian Dawn is open for pre-orders now on Amazon and will be released in September 2025. Tell your friends, tell your family, shout it from the rooftops, and embrace your nerdiness completely. Let me know in the comments which dinosaur you'd like to have a psychic bond with, as well as what civilizations you'd want to deep dive from in the future. Don't forget to join the channel for specialty badges and shoutouts at the Raptor level and early access to videos at the Mega Theropod level. I'm the Vividen, and I'll see you next time.